Everybody, welcome back to the Road to 1,000 Users. I'm lucky enough today to be talking with Aaron Baker, one of my developer friends. And this stream is to kind of see what is the people's different paths to attracting and finding their first 1,000 users for an app idea that they're building. And Aaron, I think you have a unique perspective. You do client work. You also have your own projects that you're running, and you also have a marketing background. So I think like an interesting area that, again, I know very little about is like how to market your app. And I think I shy away from it because I don't know enough about like digital marketing and the proper ways to get people interested in your app through marketing tactics. But I'd love to get your perspective on, just a few things just to kind of start off on like, when is the right time to even start marketing your app?
Yeah. And thanks for having me on, John. This is it's fun. I love watching your videos and obviously love working with you. But yeah, in terms of marketing your app, I think the right time is as soon as you have the idea. People that you want to put your app in your hands. I guess like there's a good illustration of this in Silicon Valley. I don't know if you watch that TV show, but essentially in Silicon Valley, it's like they're building this application called Pied Piper. And like their very first release, they just give it to a bunch of developers and then they give it to one non-developer. All of the developers love it because it's like super engineered, it's quick, whatever. It's some things that engineers would appreciate. And then they give it to the non-engineer, and then he basically goes, "I don't get it." And then it turns out no one gets it, right? So they just spent all this time building something that doesn't even resonate with their target customers. So the best thing that you could do from like a marketing perspective and just even from like a product perspective is finding those users. And there's like in 2022, there's no limit of like groups that you can find online that could have, right? So a good place to go is often Facebook, because Facebook, there's groups for literally everything. If you go on Reddit, there's forums for everything. And then even just reaching out, seeing what those people are saying in the forums, joining if if you can, because a lot of them are somewhat gated. You get in, you see what they're posting about. Like if you want to make an app for lost cats, there's tons of cat Facebook groups. You can see what they're saying. You can ask what they would want to see from an application like this, or even if the idea makes sense. Right?
So when you say the certification, do you mean like specific to Bubble or just like
I guess, yeah. Well, for sure, specific to Bubble, but like certifications, like how can you evaluate that from like a client point of view, or someone who's looking to hire a developer? Because I know you guys will have certification. Million Labs has certification.
Yeah.
Air has a certification. I know Momentum's talking about getting a certification as well.
It's. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just of the school of thought, like, well, like Microsoft also offers certification, but if I was like looking to hire someone with an Excel certification, like I don't know how much weight that would carry. But I'm also of the school of thought where like, well, this is a new industry, like to have anything to back it up is better than nothing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have a good answer. I think it's very experimental at this point. Like who wins the certification war for Bubble? I don't know what that looks like. Like I think it's cool to have something out there. Like I even put out one for Payhouse at one point, just for people that were going through the Build and Launch bootcamp, because everybody was asking for it, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, here you go.
It
doesn't
sense.
mean anything.
Yeah,
like I mean it. I shouldn't degrade it like that because I did offer it, but it doesn't. Like no one knows who Payhouse is, right? Like it's just for us at this point. It's just so you can have something. But I don't know, unless Bubble puts out an approved certification, I don't know what third party, like No Code Alliance or like Momentum or like Million Labs. I don't know which one will carry the most weight. It's all kind of just
that's a point. I think the onus should be on Bubble. To be honest, like I'm sure your certification is great. Air Dev certification is great. Million Labs is great. The onus should be on Bubble, right? They should be the end all be all. They're the platform that we're building on. They should have the knowledge of what makes a good Bubble developer.
It's a tricky conversation, right? Because I think the fear there is Bubble putting their stamp on a developer, and a developer does something wrong, and now Bubble has approved them. So, you know, like I think I don't know how bad they want to really be involved in the certification space. Maybe they say we approve these vendors as our third-party certifiers, so that provides some buffer. I don't know, but we have brought it up. It's an ongoing. They're thinking about it. I think they just don't know which direction to go in with it.
For sure.
Is
I mean,
is
there's a lot of decisions to make for was a 70-person team that are, you know, have almost 2 million users.
yeah.
All right, and even more if you think about all the users that are using Bubble built applications. And basically, so from 2017, they had 60,000 or something users. So here you can sort of see the linear growth rate, which is where I didn't have numbers for. Where it had sort of jumped up here is when I actually have data points to go off of. But you can sort of see around 2019 when there's just a big spike in users, right? So we go from less than 500,000 users in 2019, all the way a year later, you know, you're at over what's about 650,000 users. And then a year later, you're hitting a million, right? And in less than a year, they've doubled their entire user base in 9 months, basically. So if this is any indication of where it's going, like it's hard to tell because there's been such massive spikes in user growth already in such a short amount of time.
Right.
But I mean, if you think about 60,000 users just last month alone, like that, it took them, what is that, 5 years just to get to that point.
Yeah,
5 years to get to
exactly.
60,000, and we got 60,000 in 1 month.
Dude, that's so cool. I love that you did this. Wait, so where do you fall in on this
So I
cohort
started,
here?
yeah, just around 2020, so just under 500,000.
So you're one of the first 500,000 users.
Which
I
at then is
started.
that's already a lot of people.
It is. It is a lot of people. I mean, yeah, it is. If you think about 500,000 people, sure, that's a ton. But you know, compared to what it is now, you know, I guess it's all relative, right? Like,
Yeah.
you were definitely one of the first. I think the closest to my mark would be January 3rd, or probably the November 14th, 2017 one. I think my first data, I have my first data point created date somewhere where it's like December 2017.
You are an OG.
So what's that number? What's that number for the 2017 mark? Is that like less than 60?
No. So this would have been 60,000 here. So you're probably at like the 70,000, 80,000 mark.
All right. So thanks everybody for joining. Aaron, thank you so much for jumping in. Interesting perspective. I love your chart of tracking the Bubble users. It's super cool. If you're watching this on YouTube, try to join the Twitch stream every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We get a conversation going around how you're finding your first 1,000 users. All right, I'll catch everybody next week.
Thanks for having me, John.